Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. That's right, Brandy. Getting to like you. Hoping that you like me.
I'm hoping you like me.
Haven't you noticed? Ever since Cortese and his friends got here, just think of all the wonderful and new things we're learning about you day by day. That's right. I know that was wonderful. I know. That's just as good as Steven Tyler singing the national anthem.
That's wrong.
Okay.
That's wrong.
Exactly. So welcome, everybody. Sippin' and Schmoozin. It's a wonderful day. We got to talk about this event that's coming up, Vic. The Gravity Summit. I guess that's what led up to this. It's a special event on February 22nd.
Yes, sir.
Where Warren Sapp, people know Warren.
Yes. Yes.
Big Warren.
Yeah, big time.
Super Bowl champion. And for those who don't know, he is actually a Twitter star. He's actually receiving an award for excellence in social media. Okay? And so we got to hear more about this. It's going to be a UCLA event on February 22nd. And so welcome our guests, Vince Cortese and friends. Like I said.
That's what I'm talking about.
Heather Clay, most important.
So tell us.
You gotta get the
And a
camera ready for that stuff.
Yeah.
Vic, I'm counting on you. You're doing video.
Stop it. Stop it.
Clean wave.
You behave, whatever you
I'm
do.
gonna have a hard time, okay? Because there's a lot of estrogen to my left.
It's going to be that kind of a day, you
And I got
guys.
too much caffeine in me. It's Mario's
Yeah.
fault. Got Mama B
Heather's
over
all
here.
testosterone.
So you got under control.
Well, take a look
No,
at
you
this
gotta-
wonderful logo, you guys. The Gravity Summit.
Yes.
www.gravitysummit.com. Educate, inform, empower. That's what this is all about. These are the people who are actually going about bringing it to you, making you
social-
aware.
social
That's right.
media.
In the social media.
They're rocking it right now.
Because, well, that's the important area as we are here, internet television, in the world of internet television. So that's a hot thing. Tell us a little bit. Who's going to tell us about the Gravity Summit?
Oh, Vince.
I think
Vince, how did
Vince
this?
and Mark.
Vince, tell me how you came to be about.
I think on this one, actually, I want to throw it over to Mark.
Okay, well, first, everybody, sports marketing consultant. Got to get that right. Mark Francis, everybody.
I want to throw a pitch in there. He's also he's covering the event with Heather, just because we'll get more into that later. But
Okay.
he's also presenting an award himself up on stage. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
All right, Gravity Summit. It's going to be an unbelievable event this year. It's the fourth annual, being hosted at UCLA Cobell Commons on the 22nd of February. The theme this year is sports and entertainment. This is just a little background. This event has been rolling for 4 years. Was started by CEO Bev Macy and her partner Terry Thompson, who actually quite literally wrote the book the Power of Real-Time Social Media Marketing that was launched last year through McGraw-Hill in January of 2011. And they've hosted events at Harvard, Stanford, and here at UCLA as well. They've been covered on CNN and Access Hollywood and everything over the time of the event, or the lifetime of the event. This year's theme is in sports and entertainment, as I mentioned, and multiple awards are being handed out. One to Warren Sapp, Super Bowl winner, football great, and really all-around great guy. I had the chance to meet him a few weeks ago, and fantastic guy. And he's winning, as you mentioned, the Excellence in Social Media Award for sport. We have Janina Gavankar from True Blood, and HBO is winning the Excellence Award in Social Media for entertainment. And we also have Nick Adler being honored there as well, the owner of the Roxy Theater.
Now, Mark, this has been going on for a while. Then so that's the first thing, you guys. These are not their first rodeo.
No, this
Okay.
This is the Gravity Summit is the premier social media conference going right now. It is the standard in the industry, and Bev and Terry have done a great job of building up that, the brand, for lack of a better term. And like I say, they've literally written a book on social media, and anybody interested in social media should really pick up that book.
I know I'm going to pick it
Real-Time
up.
Social media marketing.
What's interesting is that this is such a pioneering area day, because we were talking a little bit about this before the show. It's the idea of that people really do. It's part of really our job. People really do have to learn how to interact with social media. It's not a given at all that folks know how to embrace or use something as simple as Twitter. I mean, we're all glad that Facebook is the phenomena that it is today, the overwhelming phenomena that it is today. Because it's got our grandmothers and our mothers now able to log into our social profiles. That's what we always kind of wanted. Right. But it is a fact that even with our listeners, and because we get a ton of mail and talk about this, we are all using things that we really don't understand, and so because what you do is already fast. I got to just for at least for a second, Mark, got to get that background because it's fascinating what you do in terms of helping people, companies now, big people, name people. Understand how to use things like Twitter, Facebook.
Absolutely.
Those things. So you got to give them a little minute just to tell them about how you got into this as a sports consultant and your role in this.
Well, I actually studied. When I came down from Canada a couple of years ago, I actually studied at UCLA. I went to school, and I went to. I had just finished my MBA in Canada and came down here, and I took a course in social media marketing from Bev Macy, the CEO of Gravity Summit, and that's how we met. And with my background in sport, and I teach, I now teach it at UCLA as well. We've developed a great relationship, and it was a natural for me to kind of help, I guess, on the sports side when she decided to go with the sports and entertainment theme for this year's event. So I'm pretty excited about it, and it's it certainly opens some avenues and networking opportunities for myself as well. And
were you ever a geek? Were you? I mean, because sports.
Never.
So
Come on, look at him.
Well, because that's interesting, you guys. Because as you tie in all these folks, watch what happens. How many? Well, they're not computer people, but you don't have to be. That's the point, right, Mark? See, yeah. I mean, in other words, you're dealing with social media. Like I was trying to tell people the other day, you could do everything you need to do from your phone.
Pretty much.
Today.
Can. And it's really, the message with social media, and you hear this term a lot, is engagement. And Mama B and I were talking about earlier,
she's engaging.
If social media was designed for anybody, it was for athletes and entertainers.
Yes.
Because now the fan has the ability through Twitter and through Facebook and all of these different avenues, Twitter probably being the most powerful of them, in reference to what I'm talking about, is that ability to engage with your fans directly.
Now, in terms of engagement tools, engagement ideas, you've not held back at all because you've enlisted one, Heather Clay, to help you to engage.
I have no responsibility.
All right, we understand there's some engagement here. There's some engagement going on here because there's a big picture here overall, Mark, in terms of getting people to look at these things. I mean, how would you summarize your overall kind of big picture approach? You're trying to get folks to use social media.
Absolutely,
in new ways.
Use it in an intelligent, smart way. And Warren and I talked about this during a review a few weeks ago, and that one of the mistakes that a lot of people will make, especially on the entertainment and athlete side, is that if you look at the number of followers, use Twitter as an example, if you look at the number of followers they have, say in Warren's case, it's over 700,000, which is a pretty big number.
Yeah, yes.
But with Warren, he's doing it correctly, because if you look at the number of people he's following, it's also a significant number. So Warren gets the exchange. Social media is about a two-way conversation, creating conversation, and a lot of athletes and entertainers miss that.
Funny he brought that out. We are in the process of designing personal internet television channels for a number of legacy music artists. And that has been probably the hardest thing, I would say, Mark, if I had to say, the hardest thing to get any of the clients to adopt to has been the idea of two-way communication. It hasn't been part of their world in the past. They've never had to do it. Most of them don't think that what they have to say is important. And I have to constantly tell them, imagine you're Oprah. Imagine you're Dr. Phil.
Yeah. Dude, forget
I'll tell you.
They want to hear what you have to,
The cool thing about social media,
I'm start laying golden eggs.
I'll give you two case studies in music of one that has done it and accomplished it and risen to a level, in the industry that she's now being recognized and selling out and selling albums and everything else. And her name is Kina Grannis.
Okay.
She's a young singer-songwriter from Southern California. And she started at USC. She is, without a question, a case study in how to use social media to build your brand. She's done it all by herself. She is selling out all over the world right now. And her album Stairwells is doing really well, and it's all self-produced and everything, and it's great.
Well, everybody go take a look.
She's signed.
Really?
That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
you see, it's happening, and it's going to be happening more and more because people are taking it into their own hands. In fact, we have been telling people as part of the movement they have to kind of embrace getting in there. But today's technology actually allows you also, right, to live with,
Absolutely.
to live like we do this. You live with it as part of you, and you don't have to work as hard. I mean, Heather Clay could show us pictures as she's trying to decide which wardrobe for the day. Because, we would be interested, and she could even go, well, what do you guys think, this one or this one?
That's what we should have done last night when we were deciding.
And get that kind of interactivity
Exactly.
and the fact that people want to do it.
Right.
It's funny.
Looks like
Dress
it's gotta
Heather
come
for the
back.
day. 300,000. I see we do this too, Mark. See, we're on the same. But that's the phenomenon. I wanted everybody to see it because it's a wonderful example of, again, how the outside kind of stuff is affecting the mainstream, and that's what you do. So come on,
Heather's getting hot.
we gotta,
Heather's getting hot.
just come on, Vince. You gotta introduce Heather. Heather's the promotional item that Heather is today.
Well, last night, obviously, me and
Well,
Heather
I think what's rather
and
interesting
twitted.
for
We should've-
Heather is her
she
name
did
is
twitted.
Clay, and she is a raw piece of clay. She is a raw piece of clay.
Who is Heather?
And she's some little
Heather
farm
Clay is
girl
every
from
woman.
Columbus, California, come to the big city.
See?
Too much smog. She's crazy from the heat. Jacket's too hot. Pretty much one of these types of individuals that
Will you be
she
offended
could be
if I
good at
take
whatever
this
she
off?
chooses.
Let's see.
Heather, we
You're-
need to see your outfit today. You came as
Wait a
Catwoman.
minute. I just had a question addressed to me. Would I be offended if she takes off her jacket?
I would assume.
How many people think I'm going to say no? Crickets in the room. But let me do this before we do anything else. It's such a beautiful highlight. I'm gonna switch to you, but keep this in mind, Mark. We had a question from Mac Port Townsend, Washington. We'll come back to it. He wanted to find out, one, how do you go about using advertisers for social media rather than the traditional way, which may not be really. Maybe they're all in one. And two, social media advertisers now, is it a lower cost per lead to brand products? So keep that in mind.
Okay.
And if you want, but if you want to address it right now, we
Sure.
can. But you're in
Sure.
competition with that young lady to your right.
Well, I can't compete with that.
It's morning coffee.
Let's get
Sorry,
5
Mark.
minutes,
Let's
Heather,
start
50 minutes.
flying.
As Gene Simmons says, at this point in my life, it's good to be me.
Gino.
So, I mean, only because I don't think we're going to get away. Is there a quick answer to this? You want to come back? Okay.
Brands need to, just like artists and musicians and athletes or whatever, brands need to recognize that it's not a one-way conversation anymore. That's the biggest thing with social media, and there's still an awful lot of companies out there missing that.
That's it. I
It's
agree.
about listening,
Yes.
not about here's what I make, isn't it shiny and new, and you need to buy this.
Yes.
Those days are gone.
You
Exactly.
say it all the time.
And we say, and we've been kind of cover some of those things because what's interesting is how they're attempting to use these same things that we're talking about using for artists and athletes to brand you to Doritos or Motor.